Welcome to another Spot On Chat, where I get to dig into the hearts and minds of my illustrious guests, and you get to eavesdrop. My name is Rebecca Monet. I'm with Zorakle Profiles. We provide profiling tools for franchisors and for franchise consultants that help facilitate a right fit between a prospective franchisee and a franchise system. I have with me today Angela Cote. She is a franchise growth catalyst all the way. In fact, her background as both a franchisor and a franchisee obviously helped her become this growth catalyst for franchise companies looking to create exponential growth twice as fast with less effort. And of course, because it's Angela, always with some fun. So welcome, Angela.
Thank you. I'm noticing we kind of match, like your glasses and my little tank top.
Yeah, matchy.
Yeah, we didn't plan this.
Hey, we're good. We're in sync, right?
Yeah.
Kind of think. I'm so glad that you were able to come and visit with me. And I was wondering, if this isn't too personal, if I could ask you, I call you the Mistress of Pleather.
Oh.
Okay, behind the scenes, that's what I call you, the Mistress of Pleather.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is that all about? I mean, you're gorgeous, you got this perfect body, and you look great in pleather, but tell me more what that's all about.
Yeah, that's such a funny question. And I do get called the one, that one that always wears pleather. Okay, well, the first thing is there's a little secret behind it. It's actually very comfortable.
Ah.
Comfortable. Yeah, believe it or not. Okay, so the story is that when I first started putting myself out there as back then I called myself a franchise consultant. This is 4 or 5 years ago. And I was just kind of re-emerging from having been a mom, and I still am a mom, of course, but a franchisee and a mom and a little bit more on the sidelines. And one day I was going out as a franchise consultant to talk to a prospective client who was thinking about franchising his business. And I was like, I want to feel confident. And I had these pleather pants that I usually only wore out, at night or whatever. And I thought I'm going to wear these and just feel good about myself. And I was walking past my mom. My mom was visiting from Ontario, and she's like, I don't know about those pants. Like, do you realize, like, do you want to be taken seriously? And I was like, So she's like, I don't know. She said, who are you meeting? And I was meeting with a male prospect who was maybe 15 years older than me. And she's like, yeah, I think you might want to put something a little more conservative on.
Tone it down just a little, girl.
Yeah. So I did. And that was fine. But then, one day it hit me not long after that I want to attract people that are fun and vibrant and maybe a little bit on the edge, a little bit edgy and adventurous. And so why wouldn't I put myself out there as who I really am? And so when I started doing that, it really helped me feel more confident about who I am and that it was okay to be myself. And it led to me attracting some really cool, interesting clients, like people as clients. So that's kind of the story of the pleather. It's comfortable and it's fun.
The secret is out now. Yeah. I might have to try it myself.
Yeah.
See how this is. You made two really cool points here. One of which is being completely yourself. And as you know, I'm a behavioral scientist, and I absolutely believe in authenticity and transparency and fully and completely being you. But it's so frequent, especially in business, where we tone down, especially as women, of course, we tone down, or we think a certain thing is expected from us out in the business world. And you said, you know what? I'd rather be me than twist myself into something else just to be approved of and accepted. So I applaud you for doing that. What a wonderful message to all of us.
Thank you. Yeah. I feel like when it's almost kind of more fun, because it's like, I feel like when you become a especially that work, I don't like the word consultant. So as you know, I now use the term franchise growth catalyst. And I found out that in franchising, that kind of usually means broker. So it didn't fit what I was doing.
Right.
But I feel like there's that stereotype. It's like, oh, now you're going to be a businesswoman, so you have to dress like a businesswoman. You got to put this suit on. You got to do this. That's just never been me.
Mm-mm.
I've always gone against the grain, and it works out for me, you know. And I think that it's so important to, um, yeah, be where we feel comfortable.
Exactly.
If somebody feels more comfortable putting on a business suit and that helps them feel more confident, that's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. But for me, that's not me.
That's
So
not
yeah.
you. And you know what? People would know. After a while, when the guard is down and you're in your real space, they would know, and they go, wait a second, there's something incongruent, inconsistent. This is who
Yeah.
you really are. But the other part of this, that decision that you made, and it was a conscious decision, it wasn't accidental. You consciously said, take it or leave it. This is who I am. Not only has it created wonderful branding for you, because you know, you need to go talk to the Pleather lady, the
Yeah.
Mistress of Pleather. But but so to me that is just like invaluable. But also it's a mindset, right? It's a I go against the grain. I think outside the box. I don't do it like other catalysts or consultants or business folks. So it puts on a mindset that says, I'm going to come alongside you, Mr. Franchisor, and help you think outside your normal parameters and paradigms and boundaries and stuck states that you have, because that's how you think every single day.
Absolutely. I just think there's so much value in stepping back, and I see this, I sadly see this a lot in franchising, where especially new franchisors, they hear from the franchise community. I was going to say industry, we like to call it a franchise community. They
Right.
hear that, like, this is the way you need to do it. And it's like, you might have heard me on other things, I've podcasts and things, I talk about the franchise factory. I feel like there's this factory that people get stuck in,
Mm-hmm.
they get put
Mm-hmm.
into it. It's like cookie cutter. You do this. And what I find with my franchisor clients is, I'm like, why do you think you need to do it that way? Well, because that's what so and so said. And I'm like, well, stop and think about that. Does that make sense? Like, for example, and I hopefully I'm not going to get hate mail for saying this, but when a new franchise, a micro emerging before they start franchisor comes to me, I don't instantly go, well, you're going to need operations manuals, you're going to need this. I go, okay, you're going to need like an operations manual of some sort, but before you go spending $20,000 on that, let's make sure that, let's get you a little bit into the process first. And I know that, like, most people will tell you, you need that operations manual. It's an extension of your FTD. It is, but
Mm-hmm.
let's just start with like the kind of the what's most important in your business, because we don't even know if this is going to work. And I'd rather you minimize your investments. So that's going against the grain. And I know that, like, I get a little nervous about saying that, because I love all the operations manuals people out there. I think they're very important to have, but just not right away. So that's just an example of kind of
Yeah.
a little
Well,
different.
and I can see the logic and the way you're sharing that, because if I don't know what the business fully is operationally yet, procedurally yet, and never mind it's going to evolve, if I lock it down too soon before I've tested and I've pushed and I've done whatever, it could be too soon, and then I'm just going to be rewriting that thing in 3 months anyhow.
Yeah. So I always say, like, get the core things down that are really important in this business that, you know, a franchisee has to follow, get that written out. But then it's also in the interest of, it's in the interest of efficiency, like, rather than sit down, write this whole manual. It is good to force you to think about your systems, for sure. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think, like, use your first franchisee, because they're usually your first, you know, the first franchisee is usually a friend or a family member or
Yeah.
somebody who really loves the brand already. They're not expecting you to have this full-blown operations manual. And if they are, that's probably not the right franchisee anyway, because they're too, as you would say,
Yeah.
like, they're looking more for, what's that stage?
A stage 3 or 4 or 5
Yeah.
system, not a 1 or
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. So Yeah.
An early stage franchise system, we expect it to be dynamic. We expect to have things that are working, not working, and being ironed out. That's just the nature of the business. It's not buttoned down yet. It's not a plug and play. So I agree with you completely. So this pleather is really more than just comfort and branding. It is a mindset for you, and a way for you to publicly say at these various events, I think differently. And if you work with me, I'm going to have you thinking differently. You don't want to be what everybody else is being. You want to differentiate yourself, which requires thinking different. You can't solve a problem or create if you're thinking about it the same way everybody else is thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a statement. And I don't know where this came up at one point, but another thing just in terms of mindset, like you got to go out there with a strut. So when
I've seen that strut of yours, girl.
I feel a little bit like, I feel a little bit discouraged or deflated or something. I'm like, no, don't forget, you've got that strut. Just go. Like, and it's not, I'm not trying to be better than anyone or anything. Like everybody should have a strut.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And there's a scientific reason for that, by the way. If you ever want to have that conversation, and how certain moves in the body stimulate certain parts of the brain, builds confidence, creates ideas. So that strut isn't just, because you look fabulous, girl. It's it really is triggering the brain. Oh my.
It's exactly like at my office here in Victoria, there's usually no one in the hallway. So I really, it's Tony Robbins talks about like lifting your chest and opening your arms. And I hear this. So that's probably kind of a similar thing, right?
Yep. The quality of life is the quality of movement. That's a quote by Anthony Robbins. So I am so glad I had this conversation, because I've been wanting to ask you about this since I've met you.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
so
Okay, well, I have a surprise for you.
Are you wearing pleather? I was going to ask you. Let's see. Okay, turn around. Oh my gosh. Turn around. I want to see.
Oh, I got to turn around?
Yes, look at you.
I don't know.
Oh, you're so cute.
Yeah. They really are comfortable. But anyway, thank you for the opportunity to chat about that. It was good to have a good laugh too.
Yeah. All right. I want you back for another spot on chat. But for now, thank you so much for coming, Angela.
Thank you. Go be awesome.